There you go, a bit of U2 for you. Haven't heard that in a while. That sounded amazing. I did like the early. Used to have the old what was it, the live album, Under a Blood Red Sky, wasn't it?
Yeah, but we actually played that venue, Red Rocks Amphitheatre in Denver. Well, it's Colorado. It's outside Denver, but yeah, we had the pleasure and the luck of playing there. And then I just every time I was there, I was just going, "Where's the red smoke?"
Yeah, yeah. I remember I had the video. I wore it out on my VHS. It was such a great album. Really loved that, and it still stands up today. So yeah, U2. Fancy going on tour with them? You lucky boy. You lucky boy. I've also heard. You know, I'm a guitarist, as you know, that you've played with. Is it the REM guitarist Peter Buck?
Yes, yeah, Peter Buck.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where did that go? How did that come about?
Well, that Gary Lightbody, Gary had a side project called Tired Pony, and it was Scott McCoy who played in the REM as well. Jack Knife Lee, big producer. Ian Archer, a bunch of our friends basically. It's about 6 or 7 of us. I think when was the first album? 2010 maybe, and we recorded it in Portland, Oregon, and then we did another one a few years later, and we did a sporadic shows here and there on occasion when everybody could get together. But yeah, Peter was kind of one of the mainstays of that, so that was great fun, and again, very, very privileged to have been under the same roof.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've worked with one of my favourite producers ever, Mr. Trevor Horn.
Oh yes, yeah.
ZTT and Frankie Goes to Hollywood and Propaganda, and who hasn't he done? Yes, and stuff like that. How did you get involved with him?
A good question. Actually, that was about 20 years ago. I think it was his daughter was a fan of us, and his thing was basically solo artists and the types of things people he worked with. He didn't really work with bands. Maybe Frankie Goes to Hollywood was the last one he maybe did as a band. So anyway, his daughter just kept telling him about us, and he said, "Well, do you know what? It'd be nice to do a band again, and not the stuff that I do. He usually programs everything, and he really gets under the bonnet when he's making records with people. So I thought a band could be quite a refreshing thing. So we heard that he was interested, and we thought, well, how much? as you would, as a small indie band. But anyway, we struck a deal, and he was up for doing it, and it was one of the great experiences I think I've ever had, with the band. It was incredible. So we went to SARM East in London, both the SARM studios, and the Dave Gilmour's old studio. I think it's just out in the countryside. I think it's the Reading area. I forget, is it SARM West? I forget what it's called. But anyway, we spent a long time there with him, and it was because we recorded all our records up to that point in Glasgow in a certain kind of way, and that just opened the door, like his productions and how he does things and his team and this and that and the next thing. And it was like, oh my God, this is how it's done.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, he was pretty much up there, and you had a big sort of Yes crossover. In fact, you played bass for Yes for a little while.
And all the rest. His Yes stories are phenomenal.
Go on, tell us some. Oh, they like that, are they? Right, let's not go down that route then, if that's the case.
They're brilliant.
But Steve Howe, is it true that he might have been playing on your album, or
So basically, we'd be in the studio every day, hanging out, working, and so on and so forth, and Trevor's there and whatnot, and then Steve Howe kind of pops in, and he comes in he comes in over a number of days, and how you doing, Steve? And great, yeah, I kind of like what you're doing. And we're like, did you think they could maybe play on the album? But this was between ourselves, we didn't have the guts to kind of go up and say, Mr. Howe, and we kept saying, we should, I don't know, what do you think? I don't know. And then the opportunity came and went, and we never saw him again. And it was at the end of the session, and we were chatting to Trevor, and he said, "You should have asked him. He would have done it." It's like, oh no, I had Steve Howe.
Man, that's just
who knows what he would have played, but it would have been great.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's sort of bring it back to Belle and Sebastian again. I know the latest album was called Late Developers. I want to play a song off that. So let's dip into something. I've got a track here called "So in the Moment." Let's stick that on, and we'll be back after this.